Steve is a Renaissance man.
He's kind of a rock and roll guy.
He's interested in music and art. He's interested in what makes a community thrive.
All of the projects that he's worked on have transformed this city. It has breathed new life into our city.
I grew up in Northeast Ohio in Cleveland, which was the rock and roll capital of the world. I mean, rock and roll influenced all of the things that I did when I was young. The creative parts of my soul come out in the real estate projects.
Steve is what some people would call part of democratic architecture. It's always human-centered, and it means that you have to engage with the people who will live there.
When I started to work with Steve, one of the first things we did was walk around here in the Fenway, and the Fenway was quite different. Steve would walk into the pizza shop, and then he'd walk into an artist loft, and the respect that he showed every individual, no matter what their background, what their education, there was the same level of respect, and he listened to them very well.
What Steve has done over this period of time is really put the pieces together that make a neighborhood a great place to be. Here at Fenway, we have amazing housing, office spaces, shopping, restaurants, and also a sense of character.
Samuels and Associates is really about community and people. The buildings actually come last. We talk to communities about what they need. We try and put projects together that fulfill the community's needs.
Steve is brave. He will take on things that others won't. As he did in his early project in South Bay, go into a community that was really underserved. Many people had not gone into before to build a shopping center.
I think of South Bay. I think of what he has done to transform the Fenway. I think of Landmark Center. Growing up in the city, those were key places that I spent a lot of my time. He's been able to do all this because Samuels and Associates are being responsive to what the community is saying.
At Emerson, Steve helped me and the board to understand the value of real estate development. Emerson's assets grew tremendously during that period of time.
We believe in the city of Boston. We believe in our role in it. Every day is a new opportunity to find a problem to solve or a part of the city that could use a little shot in the arm.
Nothing gets done in this city without collaboration, without partnership. The Parcel 12 project is a perfect example of that.
Our office was on that block for 15 years. We understood the community, we understood the neighborhood. If you walk west and you get to the end of the Newbury Street, you landed on a bridge with a lot of wind overlooking the Mass Pike with a lot of noise. There needed to be an end cap to Newbury Street to complete that pedestrian experience from beginning to end.
So many have tried and failed to have projects happen involving air rights, and Steve was patient, had the vision of what it could be, and pulled together something that's really going to be amazing and transformative for the city.
They engage the city, they engage community, they engage other stakeholders and say, here's an idea that we have, let's work together to make it as perfect as possible.
The team at Samuels and Associates is our absolute strength. We pick each other up, challenge each other. The fact that we know each other so well allows us to continue to take on more and more complicated projects. We're grateful particularly to be recognized by REFA because they understand the hurdles and the complexity to get to the finish line. That is validation for us.
The Samuels team deserves this award because they have transformed this city. There's not a place that we don't know and love in this community that doesn't have a little bit of a fingerprint of Steve Samuels and his team.
He's also a great husband and father. He really cares about our city. He wants to make it a better place. He does it through his professional life, but he also does it through his charitable contributions.
Steve is working his magic, creating excitement and wonder that will last a lifetime.
100 years from now, who are the people who are going to be remembered in the history of Boston? I really believe that Steve is going to be one of those very important people who made a true difference for Boston.